Thanks to the Forum 6 Tamworth and Wagga Wagga and the Odeon 5 Orange. It's the Talkin Flickster podcast with JT and Grant Lee.
Hello, JT here with the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who knows George Cuddy better than any of us, Grant Lee. Hello.
You're not going to let me forget that, are you, JT?
Oh, never. Never. It's been weeks and I'm still enjoying it.
I know. It was one of those bit of a boo-boos that I made.
You know what? I've actually made it my alarm clock every morning now. So got the George Cuddy remix. So yeah. Hey, look, I'm sure it's a great movie. I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to maybe going and seeing it because you've made George Cuddy the real thing. So
yes. Well, you know what? You could actually head off to Orange because, as I said yesterday, it's playing in Orange tonight. So yeah.
Do you know what? Do you ever think that maybe your little bumble may have been the reason why people are going to see it more than ever?
Well, it might be. It might be. Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go back a couple of podcasts and you certainly will hear it.
Yeah, a little.
And I did ask you to take it out. I did say, can you please block that out?
Sorry, but Grant Pottymouth Lee, good old George.
It was a mistake. It was.
Yeah, okay. So you say. Anyway, it was harmless, and that's worth an episode to have listened to. But today we are talking about Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. When we saw the release list, Mr. Lee, for the year of 2026, this movie was on there, and we had to say, didn't we, that this was going to be huge.
Yeah, it is. We knew it would be, because Star Wars, the whole franchise, is worth billions, and it is such a big thing. And from a TV series, this has been 3 seasons already, now a movie, that's pretty big.
Just crazy, epic. And this is another week where you and I have actually been to see this one. Now, despite the fact last week I did say it was going to be a good snooze fest. No, look, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I've got to say I was hooked.
Know that.
I was hooked.
Which is great news. And can I tell you that, yes, I have seen this movie, I'm going to say 1.5 times, because I did go last Sunday night to watch it, and as the manager of the cinema, something did happen, and I had to leave, but I'd already seen the movie, so it wasn't as a big thing, but I did watch about half of it, I think. I don't know. I can't remember now, because, yeah, anyway.
Well, let's help you remember when we haven't listened to the trailer. What do you reckon?
Let's do it.
Hey, never touch the buttons. I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close for the night. Thank you.
Gangsters. War criminals.
Long live the Empire.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Strap in.
Will suffer. And then it will be his turn.
Before going into harm's way, check your armor. The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
Are you scared? You should be.
Do we run? Or do we fight?
I like this kid.
What are you waiting for? Let's save the rest for after dinner.
Oh, yeah. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and to tell us all about it, it is this week's Talkin Flickster David. Hello.
Yeah, good day, JT. Good day, Grant. How are you?
Hello, mate. Welcome to Talkin Flicks once again. Great to have you back. It's been a while, mate.
Oh, look, too long. I've been sitting by the phone waiting for this invitation, and I'm especially pleased that it was for Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to speak to the Star Wars franchise. I've been a fan for many, many years.
Oh, that's cool. But this is going to be a great podcast then. And you know what? It is actually good that I've been to see it because I loved it. I thought it was really good. Like I don't quite know what I was expecting, I guess, but it was lots of action. And I've got to say as well, gents, does everyone here want a Grogu? Because how cute is that little creature?
Oh, look, I've got to confess, I've already got a Grogu. It sits on my desk at work, actually. And no, you've got to get one. And it's certainly a comfort. You know, like if you're feeling a bit down, you're having a rough day. Little Grogu can cheer you up. He can turn things around for you.
I think it would be so much fun to have a little Grogu. I think it would be especially to have his powers he does. I would love that.
Oh, look, you can get the little fella out at any time and give him a little pat, and no, he'll cheer you up.
Now look,
guaranteed.
Grant Lee gets little fellow out all the time, mate. So I can tell you, I definitely give to the pat.
I knew that.
I knew it in privacy. Okay, let's get to this movie. Let's dissect it. All right. So now you are a Star Wars fan. Have you watched all the movies over the years?
Oh, look, I've seen them all and probably rewatched most of them far too many times. Like I must confess, Star Wars, it's the first film I can remember seeing. There might have been a film I saw before it, but yeah, I believe I was 7 years old. Went to the George Street complex in Sydney, Hoyts, and I saw Star Wars on its original release back in 1977, and yeah, I've kind of been absolutely hooked ever since. It's probably a bit of a problem. It's like maybe even an obsession. It's been a fantastic source of entertainment over many, many decades.
Wow, and I have to say, we're probably nearly the same age, I think, David, because I remember watching the originals on the big screen at the Regent Cinema all those years ago, and I have been a massive fan of Star Wars. I am more of a Trekkie than Star Wars, but I still love the whole thing because Star Trek, they go and discover. This one in Star Wars, they go and fight and hopefully the rebellion. But anyway, so yeah, I'm with you. I think they're just such an incredible thing. And for back then too, it was pretty big, wasn't it? For something like this, no one knew anything.
Oh, absolutely. It was groundbreaking on many levels, not just in terms of storytelling, but also just in terms of, the puppetry, the special effects, the spaceships, the scale. Right from that opening shot of, a Star Destroyer pursuing that small rebel craft, like you were just absolutely immersed. There's never really been anything like it in terms of world building in cinema, I don't think.
And it was one of those movies, and still is, one of those movies that you have to see on the big screen. It isn't the same anywhere else other than on a big screen. What can I say?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's kind of like the language of cinema. It converts okay to, there's novelizations and there's comics and, and TV versions of stuff. But, yeah, it's a cinematic code, very much so. It has to be seen. It has to be experienced on the big screen.
And The Mandalorian, obviously, part of a series. Have you caught the series? And do you feel that you need to watch the series to understand the movie, or do you think that it's something you can pick up pretty quickly?
Yeah, look, this is a really good question, and I did think about that after watching Mando and Grogu. I have seen all 3 seasons. I thought season 1 particularly was an absolute masterpiece. And it kind of came on the back of, the Disney sequels, when there'd been kind of a schism, a bit of a rift in the Star Wars fandom. I don't know if you thought that too, Grant, but yeah, it's like I thought Force Awakens was a pretty good setup, but then The Last Jedi was very controversial.
It was.
Rise of Skywalker also probably a disappointment for many Star Wars fans. And then, Mandalorian appeared, and it kind of reunited the fandom and kind of got the Star Wars franchise back on track. Look, I thought season 1 and season 2 was spectacular. Maybe season 3 not as good. And this addition to the franchise also highly entertaining and engaging. So, look, I thought it was a fun romp, but I also thought that maybe it was being designed with an audience in mind that hadn't necessarily seen the season. So it had kind of, scaled the story back a little bit from where it was so that you could have entry-level fans experience Mando and Grogu for the first time and still kind of get the story, which is understandable. Like they're trying to, obviously enlarge their target audience and hook in some more fans and some younger fans into the franchise.
Can I say, I actually haven't seen the series, and I wasn't really into The Mandalorian at all. And I went, and as I said for the podcast, and I've watched it now 1.5 times because I had to leave, unfortunately, partway through the second time. I actually really enjoyed it. I went, wow, this is actually better than what I thought. And I've now started watching the series because of watching the movie. And I didn't think there was anything in it that, yes, there were probably things that, you would have known, David, because of the backstories and all that. But I didn't think it was something that you had to know. Like, it may have helped, but I don't think it would have taken it away for someone like myself. Have you watched the series, JT?
What do you reckon, Mr. Lee?
Yeah, no. And I know it's a silly question, but I thought I'd ask it anyway. But did you think the same thing? Did you think the same thing, that you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I felt at the start, I'm like, do I need to know something about this? But as the movie went on, I'm like, nah, I've caught up, and yeah, I just enjoyed it for what it was. But I think that's also not a bad thing too, to see it from an outsider's point of view, because you're not comparing it to a typical Star Wars movie, which I get the feeling it wasn't.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree, and it's interesting listening to you guys like talking about it who you haven't seen like the preceding seasons, and it actually speaks to the intelligence behind the film's design, because they have made it appealing to, I guess, a more inexperienced Star Wars audience, and that's obviously a strength of the film. And this is where Star Wars gets very subjective and very controversial and very polarizing, right? Because you'll have fans who have seen and religiously know like all 3 seasons of Mando, and they probably won't like it as much because there isn't that much growth in terms of the relationships, especially between the Mandalorian and Grogu. There isn't really that much of consequence that happens in terms of progressing the storyline. And, if anything, like Grogu kind of regresses into infancy. Like if you have seen the preceding seasons, like he starts to grow up. Like in each season, he develops more powers and a little bit more maturity and insight. Like there's even a very famous sequence where Luke Skywalker visits him and kind of decides whether he's going to train him or not, which is, pretty intriguing. But then, like, all of that is kind of set aside in this film. And I think that is very much in terms of increasing the audience appeal and sort of capturing, people newer to the franchise, like your good selves, or you at least, JT. Grant, you should have already seen The Mandalorian if you call yourself a Star Wars fan.
So, David, tell me, what did you think of the new characters like Sigourney Weaver's role? She played Colonel Ward in the movie. What did you think of those, introducing them?
Oh, look, when I saw Sigourney Weaver was in it, like I was genuinely excited. I mean, she's a queen bee of science fiction, isn't she? And, you go back to Alien and Aliens, and she's got genuine, screen appeal, like gravitas. and she's just so watchable in the scenes that she appears. I just wanted more of them, I suppose. Like she's kind of limited to bookending the film in a sense. Like she makes a couple of appearances, and I thought her character, she obviously had that presence. Like it could have been complicated a little bit more. Just to add a degree of intrigue. It was just a little one-dimensional. So I thought it was fantastic, and it was great to see her in, the Star Wars universe. But I thought she could have been a little more developed in that particular role as Colonel Ward. I don't know. What did you guys think?
I thought she was great, and I thought she was that good that we tried to get her on the podcast. Now, believe it or not, David, her management said that they don't know who we are, which, I mean, we were quite surprised and taken back by that.
Yes,
did you get a bit of attitude, Mr. Lee? Like, did you think that was, yeah...
Yep, they certainly did give us a little bit of attitude, which I must say I was quite shocked and horrified because I thought Brenda was probably a little bit not nice to us.
Might be giving her a 5-star review. But I've got to say, though, I do agree. I think that it would have been nicer to have her play a bigger role. But you know what? Could this be the start of something? Could they blend her into more Star Wars movies, and maybe that's, where maybe it's a start for her?
Well, look, very possibly, and let's hope so. And let's also hope that she learns of your burgeoning fame as podcasters, and she does eventually one day agree to go on your show. But like, I was kind of like, in watching this film, like if you're into Star Wars and you're into that like larger narrative, you're kind of thinking like, what's the bridge to the sequels, to The Force Awakens, and to the rise of the Empire. And I thought some of the best characterizations in this film were actually, the Imperial remnants, the Lords that we saw like right at the beginning.
At the beginning, and then, around the table.
Yeah, around the table. And then, there was another, kind of Imperial Lord who sort of featured a little later on, and he was running the little gladiatorial gaming pit and making some money out of that, and, plotting the downfall of the New Republic at the same time. And there was a whole set of possibilities sort of raised by those characters. But again, I felt a little bit like the Sigourney Weaver character, that they weren't as utilised as what they might have been, and that they could have developed that connection to the sequels. Why does fascism rise again? Why did the New Republic falter? How do these characters, like when do Snoke and Hux and Phasma, if you remember them from The Force Awakens, like when do they start to appear and exert their influence in the galaxy? Like that was one of the things I suppose I was kind of looking for when I went into this film. It didn't quite deliver. It was in that space, and it was a fantastic little side adventure and very entertaining, but it didn't really move the whole Star Wars story forward that much, if you know what I mean.
And something else I don't think that moved that Star Wars story either was the fact that where was the Star Wars music? Where was the theme song? Like, that was the one thing I was looking forward to the most. It didn't feature once, did it? Nowhere.
Well, no. And that could be seen as a bit of a controversial omission, but the scoring from Göransson it's an outstanding title track. Yeah. So that's a workable replacement. But I was listening out for, even if it was kind of reworked, that famous Force melody or something along those lines.
Nothing.
And the funny thing is, I didn't even realise until you just brought that up, JT. Yeah, it wasn't in there.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. I thought, maybe even in the credits, the closing credits, and I'm like, no, nothing. So that's what made me think it's completely separate from the rest of the Star Wars franchise.
But with Rogue One and Solo and all those, did they play that music, the Star Wars music? I don't think they did, from memory.
Maybe it's dead and buried. I don't know. Maybe they're just not using it anymore.
Well, or maybe it's not like it's a start. It's not episode 10 or 9. It might only be played, at the beginning of those movies.
Well, they put in the trailer though. That was what confused me. The trailer has the Star Wars music. So anyway, that's my only criticism of the movie is that I was looking for that song. I didn't get it. So yeah.
Well, we've come off to the time of the podcast. Cannot believe 20 minutes has gone that quick. I'll just head over to the freezer and grab out some vanilla and chocolate choc tops. I need a new freezer. David, out of 5 choc tops, how many choc tops are you going to give Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu?
Yeah, and I will take the opportunity to give your choc tops a pitch. They're fantastic. So
thank you.
I love going to your cinema and enjoying a choc top. And in this particular case, look, I'm going to give it 3 choc tops out of 5.
Excellent. Okay, now let's head over to JT, because we're going to be giving this out of 15 choc tops today.
That's a lot of choc tops. Should be rolling out the cinema. You know what? I'm going to give it. This is you're going to fall over with this, Mr. Lee. I'm going to give it a 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I was hooked. I loved it. I loved the action, and I guess, and again, I'm not a Star Wars nut, so I'm not looking for anything in particular apart from a bit of action. I got it, kept me hooked, and I marked it down for the music. Had the song been in there, I might have given it a 4.5. Anyway,
there you go. Wow, I'm impressed. Well, my score is 3.5. So yeah,
okay,
so 10.5 out of 15. That's pretty good.
That's very good, isn't it? That's a great little score.
Yeah, yeah.
Very impressive.
Oh, look, it's a solid addition to the Star Wars universe, and yeah,
it is.
Like, I mean, we're Star Wars fans, when we go to these things, like especially in the era of Disney, like you're terribly worried. Like, there's a kind of an anxiety that you carry with you that it's just going to be, just an absolute disaster. And it wasn't a disaster at all. It was a little stale out of the box, I would say, but still an enjoyable enough one.
I have to also say the director and writer, John Favreau, he does do great work. Like, he did the Lion King remake. Like, he does some really interesting ways of doing movies. So good on him.
Yeah, for sure. Favreau's a clever man. One thing I didn't like, can I say, was Dave Filoni, the writer, being sort of included in a couple of scenes. I don't know. Did you notice that, Grant?
No, I didn't. I did notice Martin Scorsese as the alien at the beginning. I recognised his voice straight away. So, interesting.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool. But, yeah, Filoni, kind of inserted himself like Marvel style, like almost Stan Lee style, and that took me out of the film a little bit. Yeah, but you'd need to be like a fairly toxic Star Wars fan to even notice that in the first place, and that's probably what I am at the end of the day.
No worries. Thank you so much, David. Thank you, JT. It's been a fun morning, so thank you.
Thank you, gents. Have a lovely weekend.
Thanks, fellas.
You too.
We'll have you back soon, David. Have a great one, mate.
Much appreciated. You too.
Goodbye, Dave. Mr. Lee, we're getting out of here. Have a lovely weekend to you too. Whatever you might be up to. I'm sure it's riveting.
Yeah. I will be. See you next Thursday.
Next Thursday. That's going to come around so quickly.
Oh, it is.
Want to be our next Talking Flickster? Register now at 4of6.com.au or odeon5.com.au. Until next time, we'll see you at the movies.